From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aishah Ashraf. Our top story tonight: political chief of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, was assassinated today after a missile hit his residence in Tehran. The attack took place following his arrival in Iran for the inauguration of President Masoud Pezeshkian. Hamas says Israel is behind Haniyeh's targeted murder. Israel has not yet commented on the high-profile killing, although Israel's Minister of Heritage, Amihi Eliyahu, among other government figures, praised the assassination. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei says avenging Haniyeh's death is a duty for Tehran. Haniyeh, who had been living in Qatar, had long been a target of Israeli operations. More than 30 members of his family have been killed in Israeli airstrikes since October, including 3 sons, 5 grandchildren, a brother, a nephew, and an 80-year-old sister. Haniyeh's assassination follows a pattern of targeted killings of senior Palestine resistance organization figures, including the recent death of Saleh al-Aruri in a drone strike in Beirut, Lebanon. Hamas's office in Qatar was established as part of an arrangement supported by the U.S. Al Jazeera's defense editor Alex Getapoulou suggests that U.S. intelligence may have played a role in locating Haniyeh. In related news, Secretary of State Antony Blinken claims that the United States was not involved in nor informed about the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. Speaking during his visit to Singapore, Blinken told Channel News Asia the U.S. had no prior knowledge of the operation.
Well, of course, I've seen the reports, and all I can tell you right now is I think nothing takes away from the importance of, as I said a moment ago, getting to the ceasefire, which is manifestly in the interests of the hostages and bringing them home. It's manifestly in the interests of Palestinians who are suffering terribly every single day.
The assassination of Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran has sparked widespread international condemnation. Egypt said it reveals Israel's lack of commitment to de-escalation, especially as Gaza ceasefire talks stall. Russia labeled the killing an unacceptable political murder that risks escalating regional instability. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan condemned the attack as an attempt to undermine Palestinian resistance, calling for a unified Islamic stance against Israeli actions. Iran, in mourning for Haniyeh, blames Israel for the assassination and pledges to hold it accountable. Lebanese and Jordanian leaders also condemned the act. Jordan described it as a violation of international law. Qatar fears it will lead to further chaos and undermine peace efforts. Pakistan expressed shock over the timing of the assassination, coinciding with a significant political event in Iran. China joined the condemnation, urging restraint and expressing concern over potential regional instability. The Palestinian Health Ministry reports that Israeli strikes have killed 45 people and injured 77 others over the last 24 hours. This follows a deadly Israeli airstrike in Beirut, Lebanon, which killed 3 people, including 2 children, and 74 injuries. The strike was described by Israel as a targeted assassination operation aimed at Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr. Additionally, 42 bodies were recovered from eastern Khan Yunis, raising the death toll from the 9-day Israeli ground operation in southern Gaza to at least 255. So far, Israel has killed 39,400 Palestinians and wounded 90,996 since October 7th last year. One estimate published by experts in the British medical journal The Lancet earlier this month estimates that Israel has killed approximately 186,000 Palestinians. That figure includes indirect deaths due to disease and other factors related to Israel's war on Gaza. Israel stands accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice, which ordered Tel Aviv to immediately halt its military operation in the southern city of Rafah. Al Jazeera Arabic journalist Ismail Al-Ghul and cameraman Rami Al-Rifi were killed in an Israeli airstrike on the Shati refugee camp in Gaza on Wednesday. The two were reporting near the home of Ismail Haniyeh, who was assassinated in Tehran today. Israel has yet to comment on their murders, though it has previously denied targeted journalists. The Committee to Protect Journalists reports that more than 100 journalists have been killed since the war began on October 7th. Palestinian sources cite the killings of 163 journalists during this period, with 80 seriously injured. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, has called on the Biden administration to address Israeli war crimes. The plea comes after reports and footage of Israeli forces destroying a water reservoir in southern Gaza. It also emerges amid disturbing new allegations of Israeli soldiers gang raping a Palestinian prisoner. This has drawn attention to alleged torture and neglect at the Sde prison. CAIR's Edward Ahmed Mitchell condemned the administration's support for Israel, accusing it of emboldening further human rights violations. The American Muslim Advocacy Group is calling for immediate action from the U.S. government, demanding an end to military aid and a response to ongoing abuses. Harris surges ahead in battleground states, erasing Trump's lead. Details come after the break. Stay tuned, and we will be right back. Welcome back. Vice President Kamala Harris has overtaken Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in 7 crucial battleground states. This is just a week after becoming the likely Democratic nominee. According to a recent Bloomberg News Morning Consult poll, Harris and Trump are in a tight race nationwide. Harris is at 48% and Trump at 47%, with Harris gaining significant ground in key swing states. She leads by 11 points in Michigan and holds a 2-point advantage in Nevada, Arizona, and Wisconsin. Trump still leads by 4 points in Pennsylvania and 2 points in North Carolina, with a tie in Georgia. The poll was conducted from July 24 to 28 with a 1-point margin of error. Analysts say it reflects a major shift from early June, when Trump was ahead in 5 out of 7 battleground states. Harris's campaign momentum has surged since President Joe Biden's July 21st announcement that he is stepping down. Since then, it has been bolstered by more than $200 million raised in her first week as a candidate. On the 59th anniversary of Medicare, Congressional Democrats unveiled a new tool highlighting the potential impact of Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump's plan to dismantle key provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act. This law currently caps insulin costs for seniors at $35 a month. The tool, created by House Budget Committee Democrats, allows users to see how a repeal would affect medication costs in their area. For example, in Pennsylvania, around 830,000 seniors could face an additional $470 annually in prescription drug costs. Nationwide, the repeal could raise drug prices for 18 million seniors. Trump's agenda also proposes privatizing Medicare, a move that critics argue would jeopardize senior health care. Despite GOP promises to protect Medicare, past action suggests otherwise, with proposed cuts to Social Security and Medicare and attempts to raise the retirement age. Elon Musk claimed on X that Google imposed a search ban on Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, posting an image of a Google search box with President Donald typed. Musk, who endorsed Trump and pledged to financially support his campaign, previously shared an AI-generated parody video on X that mimicked Harris's voice. Google responded to Musk's claim and said autocomplete is designed to offer shortcuts for common search terms. It also said users can still search for specific queries, even if they are not suggested by autocomplete. The autocomplete feature suggested Donald Duck and President Donald Reagan on Sunday, but failed to suggest President Donald Trump. Google responded to CBS Money Watch and attributed the issue to anomalies affecting autocomplete functionality for searches related to several former presidents and the current vice president. For example, a search for Vice President K returned results such as William R. King, a U.S. vice president in 1853. Observers say the glitches highlight growing concerns about the influence of tech platforms on the 2024 president election in the U.S. Paul Dans, director of Project 2025, led by the conservative Heritage Foundation, is stepping down, according to the think tank's president, Kevin Roberts. Dans, who has led the project since its inception in April 2022, is leaving as the initiative faces increasing scrutiny from Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump's campaign. Project 2025, which proposes a hard right policy blueprint and a list of potential staffers for a future conservative administration, has been a target of Democratic attacks. Trump's senior advisor dismissed the project as irrelevant to the campaign. Despite Danz's departure, Roberts assured that Project 2025 will continue its mission to build a conservative policy framework. Observers say Danz's exit highlights the tension between conservative policy goals and Trump's campaign strategy. A federal court has upheld Mississippi's law permitting the counting of mail-in ballots for up to 5 business days post-election. Judge Louis Girola Jr. of the Southern District of Mississippi ruled the state's law complies with federal regulations as there is no specific federal mandate on absentee ballot counting. This decision reinforces states' rights to manage election procedures under the U.S. Constitution. Mississippi's law requires mail-in ballots to be postmarked by Election Day, and the court affirmed allowing ballots to arrive late does not breach federal election laws. This ruling follows a previous Fifth Circuit decision that emphasized state discretion in electoral matters. The court's decision could face appeal, potentially leading the Fifth Circuit to further address the issue of post-election day ballot counting. Republican senators are split over Donald Trump's choice of Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. While Trump defends Vance, recent controversy has sparked internal debate. Critics argue that Trump should have selected a woman or a person of color to broaden his appeal beyond his core base. Concerns have also arisen over Vance's foreign policy views and his ability to expand the Republican coalition. Some senators, including Lindsey Graham, suggested alternatives, like Senator Marco Rubio or Senator Tim Scott, to capture more swing votes. Vance's past remarks, including criticisms of Trump, have fueled negative press coverage. Despite this, Trump remains committed to Vance, hoping his appeal to white, working-class voters in key Midwest states will counterbalance Democrats' momentum. The Republican National Committee rules allow for a vice presidential change only under specific circumstances, limiting immediate alternatives. The Interior Department has revealed that at least 973 American Indian, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian children died while attending federally operated or supported schools. The investigation, which was launched by Secretary Deb Haaland in June 2021, updated the list of institutions to 417 across 37 states. It also identified at least 74 marked and unmarked burial sites at 65 different school sites. It said the U.S. government allocated more than $23 billion to support these schools and related assimilationist policies from 1871 to 1969. Secretary Haaland said the federal government took deliberate and strategic actions through federal Indian boarding school policies to isolate children from their families, deny them their identities, and steal from them their languages. The investigation included 8 key recommendations, such as issuing a formal apology, investing in remedies for current impacts, and establishing a national memorial. That's all from our Toronto studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. Your support is needed now more than ever to continue our mission of providing informative, educational, and inspiring content to Muslims in North America and around the world. Donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Salam and good night.